I've come out into the garden to help us to think a little bit more about Good Friday. Christians believe it was all part of God's good plan that Jesus would die on the cross for us. But you might be thinking, so what? Well, the Bible tells us that when Jesus died, it's a little bit like these sunflower seeds. I don't know if you can see them, they're very tiny. They seem to have no life in them, but when you bury them into the soil, after a little bit of time, they come back to life. And that's sort of like a picture of what happened to Jesus. He died on the cross, and 3 days later, he came back to life. Of course, we'll have to wait a little bit longer than 3 days for our sunflowers to come back to life. But when Jesus died on the cross, it was as if something else died on the cross with him. And that thing was sin. Sin is the bad things that we do and the good things that we should do, but we don't bother to do. I've made this simple cross out of blue tack on a piece of card. You can do this at home. And what I've done is I've thought about some of my sins and I've nailed them to the cross just with some pins that I had. So I've got being grumpy, being unkind, being ungrateful, whether that's to the people that I love and I live with, or whether it's being just ungrateful to God. And I've pinned them there on the cross as if they're on the cross with Jesus when he was dying. But when Jesus died, it was sort of as if not only did his dead body get taken off the cross, but so did my sin. So each one of these things, being ungrateful, being grumpy, being unkind, got taken off the cross and put with Jesus, buried deep into the tomb. Only when Jesus came back to life, the sin was left there, gone, hidden, buried, forever. Of course, I'll continue to do bad things, and every time I do bad things, I can think about them, I can pin them to the cross, and then I can know that they're going to be buried with Jesus and hidden, and they won't come back. It's as if Jesus' death has taken away that sin and put me right in my relationship with God. So, not only can I be restored in my relationship to God by burying those sins with Jesus, but as Jesus came back to life, so I can have the hope of his new life too. So after a little bit of time, that sunflower seed will start to sprout. This one I planted nearly 4 weeks ago now, and you can see it is growing, only just, but it's getting there. And of course I know that there's a promise of that beautiful big sunflower head that will come blooming out at some point in the future. And just like with Jesus, I know that I have the future hope of a beautiful new life with him.